I won't be supporting this legislation. And this legislation is setting out to tell us that the ordinary courts are inadequate to secure the effective administration of justice. I don't see that included anywhere in the speech, the detailed speech that the Minister gave. I don't see that declaration anywhere, and I don't see any evidence of that at all. And it follows on, this special criminal court is based on emergency legislation, and we've been told repeatedly that's unacceptable, and we've been criticised repeatedly over and over by the UN Human Rights Committee 93, 2000, 2008, 2013, 2014. We've had the Headerman report, and then we've had the majority report and the minority report from 2023, and we have a Minister for Justice with a serious experience in law behind him stand up and tell us we'll be standing here again next year if we're alive, and we will be again passing a resolution to say that the courts are inadequate without any evidence, without any action, based on all of that criticism, without even an apology 2 years after a minority and a majority report was printed. That's unacceptable. It's also unacceptable that human rights is mentioned absolutely nowhere, and the balancing that must take place. Clearly we need to deal with terrorism and serious crime, but there must be a balancing exercise. And of course, you'll get a hint from the Special Rapporteur from the UN. It was Professor Ní Héileán up to last year from Galway, and the current one is Ben Saul. And it's interesting, Minister, the title, and you might look at it, the UN Special Rapporteur on the promotion and protection of human rights and fundamental freedoms while countering terrorism. So there's a framework there. Yes, counter terrorism with the framework. And so I'm just going to quickly, in the minute and 2 minutes or 1 minute and a half, I want to ask a number of questions, and the Irish Council for Civil Liberties have kindly sent out information to us. So when we go ahead and get rid of the Special Criminal Court, will that be done by ordinary legislation or by a referendum? If it's done by ordinary legislation, how do you do that when we had to have a referendum in relation to the establishment of the Court of Appeal? In relation to the Special Criminal Court on a permanent footing, how do we reconcile that with the Constitution, where the Special Criminal Court arises from emergency powers? Then we have the issue in relation to the DPP rather than a judge, not addressed anywhere at all. Then we have belief or opinion evidence, which has gone in Northern Ireland, and we're going to keep it down here, and there's no looking at that or teasing that out in terms of equality between the Northern Ireland and here. And then we were promised a consultation period following the PAIRT review in 2023 with stakeholders. No mention of that, where that consultation is at. And then I've mentioned human rights not being mentioned at all. And of course, the right to a jury is the gold standard. And I think it's unacceptable for a Minister of Justice with such experience to stand up and not reference the gold standard and then tell us why we have to depart from that, and when the legislation that's there, we know hasn't been used. I mean, for a substantial part of the sections haven't been used at all. So I think it's unacceptable. On Friday we'll be looking again at terrorism legislation without any context, when the real terrorists, which I'll be mentioning on Friday when I'm speaking in relation to the Israel and so on, not mentioned. There's a huge danger here when we go down a very narrow road of security and who are terrorists without an overall scope. Thank you.